What really makes a guitarist great? One might say endless amounts of practicing, stage experience, music theory knowledge, memorable songs and solos, technique skills. It often comes down to the personal preference of each individual fan and listener. But there is one common factor that all great players share that's barely talked about. In fact, I made hundreds of videos on this channel over the last years and I also never talked about it so far, until it hit me while I was actually going through some of your comments. I sometimes go through the discussions beneath the posts and videos to get an idea of what you would like to see next. We built a really awesome and positive community on this channel over the last couple of years, but this time I came across something that left me kind of speechless, and I think it represents a bigger problem we have in the guitar community, so we should definitely talk about it. So most of you know by now that I got invited by the band Tool to play a guest solo in the O2 Arena in Prague a couple of weeks ago. That was without a doubt one of the best moments of my career so far, and I even made a full video about it in case you missed it. Just last week I shared the news stories from Guitar World and other magazines, and I stumbled upon this comment. I can't help but hate on this. So many things come into play for someone to be this famous, and most of them have nothing to do with music. Music politics, YouTube numbers, and a pinch of expensive, very few can afford, education in Vienna. If we all had a shot at doing things like these, the world would be a different place. Now, I honestly don't really care about hate comments that much, because I know that it doesn't matter how hard you're trying, you will never please everyone, especially not in the guitar world. But for multiple reasons, this one left me kind of speechless, and I didn't even read the entire thing. It gets even better. And here's why. So what many people don't know about me is that I moved to Vienna around 8 years ago to study music at a private conservatory called the Vienna Music Institute with a couple $100 or euros in my case to my name. It took quite a while, but my parents back then accepted my career choice under one condition: I have to pay for everything myself. So I had a really miserable call center job that paid around 600 euros a month. My tiny apartment that I shared with a roommate in Vienna was around 300 euros a month, and the monthly tuition fee at the conservatory was also 300 euros a month. So I paid for groceries by playing small shows on the weekends or giving guitar lessons or doing simple graphic design jobs. And honestly, I will be forever grateful to my parents for all this, because it taught me the one skill that I needed the most in my career so far. You guessed it, it's the one that I want to talk about in this video: a disciplined mindset. Because most students that got everything paid and taken care of by their parents took a long time to finish with their studies, and some of them didn't even finish at all, while I couldn't wait to get out of this horrible situation to finally pursue my career in music. Since it was also my money that I poured into all of this, I wanted it to pay off even more, and I was really afraid of ending up being a failure. So to be honest with you, I was kind of miserable back then because I barely made rent each month, and I had 12 to 14-hour days of call center jobs, lectures, studying and practicing, and then small but often international metal shows with exhausting travel days on the weekends just to make some extra money. So I think you might start to see why this comment made me chuckle a little bit. I was absolutely broke, and I worked a job that I really hated just to stay afloat and to keep studying. I will never forget these huge blocks of cheese that I used to buy together with my roommate. We jokingly called ourselves the worst white trash metal musicians from Vienna. Then he continues. So once again, if we all had a shot at doing things like these, the world would be a different place. But it's reserved for the stars that didn't come from nothing. It's for those who have always been in the loop through money and influence. So if you had a guitar worth more than $1,000 or euros bought for you before you were any kind of serious player, you, my friends, fall in this category of privileged virtuosos. So I think we talked about the money aspect enough by now. I quite literally started out with nothing when I moved here to Vienna. Next is the very common influence argument. So most of you awesome people that decided to subscribe to this channel at one point are probably not around for that long, because less than 3 years ago I had around 500 subscribers on YouTube and close to no following on any other platform, and it seemed absolutely impossible for me to grow any further than that. Maybe this sounds familiar. You constantly look at all the successful players online, but whenever you upload a video it gets less than 100 views and you get very frustrated, right? It was exactly the same for me. But here's where it all changed. I started to ask myself, amongst the thousands of videos that literally get uploaded on the platform every single second, is my video really that good? Why on earth would people choose to watch this instead of all the awesome established players on the platform? So the answer was simply, I was not good enough, my content wasn't good enough, and I had a lot to learn, and of course I still have a lot to learn. Because in my case, as soon as I started looking up to other guitarists, musicians, creative people, with fascination and not with hate or envy, everything changed, and this is exactly the most important advice I want to give you today. today. The more I see how people are behaving online over the years, the more I start to think that a lot of today's guitarists have a big mindset problem that's holding them back. I talk about guitar technique and theory quite a lot on this channel, aside from sharing my playing and music with you, but I regret that I didn't talk more about the topics of mindset and discipline over the last years. Because if I learned one thing, it's that your life and your playing will change drastically as soon as you stop looking for excuses all the time. I think and propose that we should all stop blaming outside factors we can't control for our misery and unhappiness, and instead focus our energy on pursuing our wildest dreams and goals. Without a doubt, it will be extremely tough sometimes, like it was for me when I started out in Vienna a couple of years ago. We will all make tons of mistakes, we will waste time on certain projects, we will get extremely frustrated, but I'm 100% confident that it will pay off for all of us in some way or another. Of course, luck always plays a role in all of this, but without the needed discipline and mindset, you will never achieve your biggest goals. So just a couple of years ago, I was a broke nobody, mostly sitting in a call center, and now I built something really cool here on YouTube, of course with the help of all of you amazing people. It led to some crazy and honestly quite unbelievable opportunities so far, and I can't wait to see where I will end up in the next 5 years. And one of my biggest goals is making you as ecstatic and optimistic about the future as well, even and especially if things are not that great for you at the moment. I truly mean it when I say I believe in you and that you can achieve a level of excellence in any kind of field you want to pursue if you give it all that you got. And finally, a message to the person who wrote this comment. I made sure to censor your name so that people don't come after you. This is the last thing that I want to achieve with this video. I can see your anger and your frustration, and I can also even understand where you're coming from. I also had these feelings a couple of years ago, and the world seemed so unfair to me. For the longest time, it seemed absolutely impossible for me to turn my passion into a career, but I sincerely hope that you don't give up and that you continue to follow your dreams. I really mean it. You never know where you're gonna end up in just a couple of years. I certainly didn't expect a message and invitation from Tool, and I hope something awesome like this happens to you as well in the next years, but it won't happen all by itself. It won't happen by hating on other people and constantly complaining about your own circumstances, and it certainly didn't happen to me because I'm some kind of overnight success. I still have a long way to go to reach my personal goals, and I'm certainly not done learning and improving. And today, and with this video, I want to invite you especially to share this mindset with me in the future. I sincerely hope that I could provide some kind of teachable moment with this video. If you agree and if you see yourself in this message, make sure to subscribe to join our awesome community here on YouTube. If not, make sure to let me know about it in the comments. I'd love to hear about your opinion as well. I will hopefully see you again in the next video. Until then, take care and have an awesome day. Bye bye.